Interpersonal communication, by way of definition, is simply talking to the next person, getting to listen, and for them to give you a reply before you go again. So it's like what you call the two-way model of communication. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be talking about interpersonal communication, and I will be able to tell you more of stories to back up what interpersonal communication means and how it is important. As we continue to progress, please make sure to like, comment, and also subscribe to this channel so that we can get to bring you more content and you can get to see how the conversation drops. So let's get into it. You see, a lot of people take interpersonal communication for granted, and it's not actually good. Because interpersonal communication is one of those things that enables you not just to talk with the next person, but it also helps you to grow. Because as you continue to meet people in your life, the type of communication you have with them, whether it is valid or not, the type of communication you have with them being valid and being built on something solid will determine what level of knowledge or value you will derive from that conversation. But many of us do not really believe in that. We just think that it's talking to the next person and get it over with. So I can choose to have interpersonal communication with the next person. Take for example, so this is my friend Precious. I want you to watch how we would communicate. I would start a subject matter that we have not discussed before so that you'll be able to learn some of the important communicative values, something we had never talked about before, but you see how natural it will flow into the conversation. So I'll start this way. If a woman should wrong you, say a woman should tell you a lie, or she stole your money, which would you prefer?
Uh, I prefer stealing the money.
Than telling you a lie?
Yeah.
Okay, why would that be? What principle you had informed that you prefer the woman stealing your money than telling you a lie for you to, forgive her?
After you've seen someone in a particular way, and then all of a sudden, maybe due to her own reasons, she didn't tell you the whole story of whatever it is as the, or let's say, the whole story of who she is and stuff like that. You tend to get hurt at the end of the day because you yourself, especially like me now, I've experienced it. That's why.
I hate lies too. I hate lies, and when people tell me lies, it just seems as if you're stealing everything from me because every other thing that you have said might naturally become
just be lies to me. Yes. Exactly. So whatever it is you're saying, first thing that comes to my head is what if it's a lie because this is not the first time.
That's true. That's true. All right. So you see, if you had watched that video with me and my friend Precious, you would notice one thing. Our stories were just naturally sinking into each other. That is because in interpersonal communication, you have to be considerate of the next speaker. Imagine if he was talking and I kept interjecting. That means I'm not considerate. I'm an inconsiderate contributor. But some persons, when someone is talking to you, you just continue to get into the conversation. You don't even allow them to have their say. It's not good if you must learn how to maintain a balance in your intercommunication or interpersonal communication life. Somebody gave an example. He says it's like a mud. A mud is it can change to different shapes. So as you continue to wrap it and you throw to the next person holds it, they wrap and throw to you, it changes shape. That is the same way communication changes shape when it comes to interpersonal communication. We're not going to talk about intrapersonal communication today, but basically you have to understand that, see, people have different temperaments when it comes to talking. People have different temperaments. We also have to be considerate. So when somebody is talking, you give them the full length to talk. Some people say, give me enough latitude for me to talk. You have to give them the full length to talk. When they are done talking, you can then quietly add your own side of things to the conversation. But for most of us, we don't want to do that. We just want to be all talking, and it makes you an intruder. as long as you're talking about communication. So no matter where you find yourself, people respect those persons that give room for the others to talk first, so that you don't get to be seen as somebody who tries to show yourself to the world, and you are just there. In fact, sometimes people get offended. You just find out that you're talking to somebody and the person talking with people. I appreciate the fact that you have a lot to say. Hmm? But when talking with people, you just have to be considerate enough to give them a listening ear. That is why therapists, they have these great skills. Public speakers as well have these great skills. They listen more. When you listen more, you will get to understand the terms of condition in a conversation, and you also get to understand what the people or the person you are involved with is not saying. Remember, we're talking about interpersonal communication, so it's just between you and another person. So as you keep some mute silence, so as you observe some silence, the person talks and they understand that, oh, you really want to listen, and they give out more information. But when you don't do that, they might keep quiet at a point and feel like you just have everything to say. Your job is to get people to listen to you. Your job is to also talk. But you have to understand that if you must control the higher stake of things in any conversation, you have to be a good listener first. You have to listen properly to what people are saying, or to what the person you're communicating with is saying. That is why even in some marriages and some relationships, people have problems, because it takes a lot of patience to filter and understand what the other person is saying. But most persons just want to be out there to say it all by themselves, and at the end of the day, they end up misinterpreting the other person. Yes, when you are an intruder in a conversation, you get to be too much, you get to pronounce yourself more in that conversation. There is a possibility for misinterpretation to occur, because communication flickers as well. The moment you say it, sometimes it just goes. And when you don't listen with rapt attention, that person you are trying to communicate to might not hear you correctly. The person might not hear you correctly. So the problem of misinterpretation then comes in, and you think that they are bad people. And that is why I keep telling people, see, communication builds a greater part of your life. When you speak, your words give life. Your words expose your personality. Yes, it exposes your personality. And everything you speak is like you giving, animating something to go in your behalf. So that's why you must be very careful, because when you are in any conversation, especially in an interpersonal communication, the words you've animated has a way of creating an impression in somebody's life. And you don't always get the chance to make a second impression. So you have to be very, very careful people on matters relating to interpersonal communication. I get to detail it because with its perfect examples that we see, you'd understand that people want to have value. Communication is a commodity. You sell things to people, they buy. Yes, they buy. So anybody you're talking to today, you're selling both your ideology, your personality, and you are injecting them with a level of spirit from what you've been able to learn over the years. Even if it's in a subject matter, don't argue. Learn to have conversations that would not be built around baseless arguments, so that when you talk, people will respect what you are giving out, and they would always have reasons to trust you. But a lot of people have failed the act of interpersonal communication. That is why it's even difficult for them to take it to the group. That is why it's difficult for them to talk to more than one person, and you end up being shy at the end of the day. So interpersonal communication, talking with the next person, is very important. I urge you today, start. You can get a young child. Sometimes children can become intolerant of what you have to say because it takes longer time. So get a young child. You can start practicing with that young child, talk a little, and see if you can get their attention. Then also pay attention and listen to them. If you have somebody who always loves to be listened to, use that as a test bed. Go meet the person, have them talk, start a discussion, have them talk while you do the listening, even the more. And you see, over time you begin to learn tolerance in conversation. When people respect you that much, when you master the act of communicating with tolerance and not getting to be an intruder in the conversation, people begin to respect you. So I want you to do that and begin to learn down that line. My name is Adekunle Adejumo. Make sure to like, subscribe, and also leave your comments so we can know how to further the conversation some other time. If you've been able to learn something from today's video, take care of yourself. I'll come your way next time when we discuss something important. Take care.